I'm Josh Liston from On the Bubble podcast, an oral history of television fandom, part of the Gonna Geek network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Please don't tell your father.
So you're working for him now? How nice. Does he know? I can't wait to tell you.
Miss Burnley. No, Miss Burnley.
Get off!
Just give me 2 more days, one even. It's more important than anything. It's going to astound the world. Look, you know about the problem of polymerizing amino acid residues.
What did you say?
Look, you know what a long-chain molecule is.
Oh, what?
Do you know what a molecule is?
No. Something like an atom.
That's it. Atoms stuck together. In this case, like a long chain. Now, cotton and silk and every natural fibers is made up of these chains. And recently we've learned to make artificial fibers with even longer chains, such as rayon and nylon. You've heard of nylon. Well, I think I've succeeded in the copolymerization of amino acid residues and carbohydrate molecules, both containing ionic groups. It's really perfectly simple. I believe I've got the right catalyst to promote interaction between the reactive groups at the end of the peptide chains and the carbohydrate combination, while the charges of the ionic groups will cross-link the chains and confer valuable elastic properties.
Everyone, and welcome to Smoking and Drinking in Space. This is a sci-fi podcast from a couple guys who think they know sci-fi. And this week we head back in time and over the pond to discuss the film that asks, what did Obi-Wan wear before the robes? This stars Alec Guinness, Joan Greenwood, and Cecil Parker. It's 1951's The Man in the White Suit. But first, he's the guy who insists that he needs money from his future father-in-law. It's Rob. How you doing, Rob?
Man in the White Suit. I watched Man in the High Castle.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
no, you didn't, because you were talking to me about it the other day.
I wish I was watching Man in the High Castle.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I like this movie. It was fine.
Oh, we're going to have some talking.
I take it you didn't like this movie.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
Until we get there.
Well, you got any news for us this week?
I do. Let's start with this one. So if you didn't know, it was announced that Westworld season 5 has been canceled.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
it's not really surprising because
because of the dumpster fire that they're doing.
Yeah, season 4 was not that good.
Liquidation sale that WB is going through.
Well, that and season 4 just really wasn't all that great.
I haven't watched it yet. Does it still have boobs?
A few, yeah.
Not as many as season 1, huh?
Oh, God, no.
Well, shit. Huh. Well, good news, though. The cast is still getting paid.
Yeah, they're probably under contract, yeah.
Yep. The core cast will still be paid for season 5, even though it got canceled.
That's a brilliant fucking move from Warner Brothers.
Well, I mean, they don't have to deal with production costs.
Well, I know, but I mean, they still probably could have gotten some of their money back if they had run a season 5.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so the salary for the cast is believed to be 10 to 15 million. That's what would be owed for season 5.
Okay.
While that's not a lot, the third season budget was pegged at 100 million, which came out to about 10 million an episode. Okay. So if season 5 was going to be 8 to 10 episodes, you're looking anywhere over 80 million. So they're still saving money.
But how much
In the
lost
long
revenue
run.
are they going to have on sold media? You know, people buy seasons to rewatch later. How much are they going to lose off of lost subscribership for people that are subscribed to HBO Max just for like shows like Westworld and other shit that they're axing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think it's going to be much less than what they would have spent in production costs.
yeah. They're trying to save like $3.5 billion.
Well, yeah, they made a shit fucking deal with AT&T to buy Warner Brothers, and now they're trying to garage sell their way out of their bad deal.
Yeah, which I didn't know Discovery had that kind of cash.
Yeah, neither did I.
So well, they don't anymore.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, they spent rent money to buy WB, and yeah.
All
right, what else you got?
So we had a birthday happen this past week on Thursday, November 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. So good old Deep Space Nine. The Dominion War started 25 years ago on November 3rd. So
like the episode started 25 years. Okay.
Yeah. So Deep Space Nine's Dominion War, the first episode that contained the Dominion War, happened 25 years ago.
And people care about this. Why?
Because that was kind of a big deal.
Was it?
For Star Trek? Yeah, having a giant war and not everything being happy-go-lucky.
But it was on, it was on that show, and that show wasn't good.
Well, people would tend to disagree with you.
Deep Space Nine was not good.
Again, people would tend to disagree with you.
Okay. I mean,
the
world needs wrong people too.
And you're in that club.
You think?
Yeah, you're in that wrong people club.
I don't think so. Moving on. What else you got?
I got Mars news.
Mars news?
Mars news.
Nothing happens on Mars.
Well, apparently that is not the case because Mars is alive.
What?
Yeah, Mars is alive.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that.
Well, so that's the headline, Mars is alive. And then there's another article that says...
Who was the brilliant fucking journalistic...
Hold on. This comes from SciTech Daily. There was a headline that said Mars is alive, SciTech Daily. Anyway, look, don't question. It's not giant freaking robots, so it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, they're owned by giant freaking... No, I'm just kidding. So I've got a headline that says Mars is alive. I've got another article that says new evidence for liquid water on Mars has been found. But they're two completely unrelated things. Mars is alive. Up until recently, Mars was generally considered a geologically dead planet. Apparently, an international team of scientists have reports of seismic signals indicative, man, there's lots of big words, indicative of volcanism that are still being that are still happening.
Okay, so they think that it's there's actually like a liquid magma underneath, or
yeah, I guess seismologists and geophysicists at ETH Zurich have been listening to the seismic pings of more than 1,300 Mars quakes. So apparently Mars is shaking in its boots and isn't quite as dead as once thought. Now, whether or not it's teeming with life, that's a whole nother thing, and that's not what this article is about, even though it says Mars is alive. So then I got the thing that says, hey, there's new evidence for liquid water. They're just looking at the South Pole and, comparing it to our poll and going, hey, it looks kind of similar. So there's evidence that there might be liquid water, but probably not. We don't know. We don't have a whole lot of information, and we're doing this based off of radar and that kind of bullshit.
Radar that kind readings. Of bullshit.
Yeah, radar readings and stuff like that came from passing spaceships.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we're not going to know for sure until Elon Musk sets foot and starts drilling for gold.
Right.
So, until that day, we're not going to know for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got? Is that it? Please tell me that's it.
I mean,
it would be a shock that you didn't have like some kind of superhero news.
Well, I'm saving the superhero news for next time.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Well.
Oh, hey. Here's some more sci-fi news. I forgot about this because I looked at it so long ago. Lupita Nyong'o. I don't know.
Lupita Nyong'o?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, who's in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, also in Us, and all that kind of good stuff. She is on tap to be in A Quiet Place Day One, the Quiet Place prequel that's happening.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot all about that happening.
Yeah, that's happening, dude.
Interesting.
Yep. I just thought that was a little interesting, and especially considering one, it's sci-fi, and two, she's related to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is a superhero, and will happen comes out next week. Well, I guess it's out now.
Well, yeah, technically, as of this show dropping. All things, all the stars aligning and this show actually dropping on time. Yes, Black Panther will be out.
Wait, this isn't a live show?
No,
we don't record it live.
No. I think we've gone over this before, but we can go over it again after the show, and I'll tell you how this works.
So I could still record in my panties?
No. No, you have a restraining order against that.
Oh. Do I need to put my shirt back on?
That's up to you.
Perfect. Let's do a pod crawl, please.
With the fact that you record in public places without pants is why you have that restraining order.
Myself out.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
We can call it, I don't know, say a pod crawl? The pod crawl! Pod crawl! Pod crawl! Pod crawl! Excellent! Insert it deep! Pod crawl! Kind of like a space suppository full of information.
Sidney Stratton is a research chemist with caviar tastes and a pizza budget. After he's caught spending extravagant amounts of his textile employer's money on heavy hydrogen for his unsanctioned experiment, he's shit-canned and looking for work. The employment office ships him to another textile mill where he's a laborer who envies the state-of-the-art lab there. One day he gets to set up a shiny new electron microscope and impresses the researchers there with his knowledge of where things go and how the thing works, and then manages to quit his job and get roped into working for free for a little lab space. Setting up his experiment again, he reaches a critical point, and one day before the lab opens he sets up his needed reaction, crosses his fingers he doesn't blow the lab up, and presses the aptly named fire button. When the lab doesn't explode in a ball of fiery chemicals, he's elated to see his experiment worked. It seems he invented a new polymer that can be woven into a material that is virtually indestructible as well as never gets dirty. When the other researchers come in and see their lab has been outfitted as a bomb, they are less than convinced that he's sane, much less invented a revolutionary new material. They dump the chemical into the sink and kick him off the premises. That night he goes to appeal his case with the owner, but the owner wants nothing to do with him. The owner's daughter, Daphne, breaks away from the Scooby Gang long enough to tell her dad he's being an idiot for not giving Sid a few minutes of his time. The next day, Sid and Burnley have struck up a deal to manufacture the new material. They make a few yards and then, with the help of blowtorches to cut the material, make a shiny white suit for Sid that glows in the dark because it's slightly radioactive due to some of the elements used in the material's creation. When word of the invention gets out to the other mills, they lose their shit and head over to Burnley's mill to stop him from marketing the new fabric. They say that he will put them all out of business, because who needs to buy new clothes when the clothes that they have never wear out? They convince Burnley to bring Sid in and renegotiate the contract to gain control over the worldwide rights of the technology. Sid comes in, asks a few questions about publication, and when it becomes clear that industry just wants to suppress his invention, he says fuck off and then gets chased around, knocked out and kidnapped for his refusal. When the workers get wind of the new invention, they see the expiration date of their jobs, because who needs new material when the old material never wears out, and they demand that industry never manufacture the stuff. They go on strike and head over to Burnley's place to state their demands. Meanwhile, Daphne has been whored out to convince Sid to hand over the rights for a cool $250,000, and after he refuses her feminine wiles, she switches gears and helps him escape. Well, Sid escapes right into the arms of the laborers when he comes across Bertha and she tells him that they don't want his work out in the world as well. He tries to get away from her, but Bertha is having none of that shit, and she locks him in his old room as the trade union heads out to negotiate with industry. Sid, pouting in a window, convinces a little girl with a cheek full of chewing tobacco to help him escape, and when he's free he tries to book both a cab and train ticket with the measly 5 pence he has in his pocket. News gets out that Sid has escaped and both labor and industry rush out to chase him down. After running around town and terrorizing the local butcher, they finally corner Sid with murder in their eyes. As Sid tries to run away one last time, someone grabs his coat and a large chunk of it tears away. It seems the material is unstable and starts to deteriorate after a time. They rip the rest of the suit off of him, leaving him pantless in the street, humiliated and dejected. The next day they give him his walking papers, his assistant bids him goodbye, and roll Sid looking at his notebook and realizing the key to a stable formula with a eureka moment, credits.
All right, 1951's The Man in the White Suit. So this goes back to classic sci-fi where you basically get kind of this moral dilemma that's posed by new technology or some other science fiction scenario. So I take it you do not enjoy this film.
I'd rather watch Metropolis again.
No shit. You hated it that much?
No, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it.
Okay, what didn't you like?
Bored.
You were bored. It just didn't have enough action or what bored you about it?
Yeah. It's not my kind of sci-fi.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
It's one thing if it's technology or something like this, but
it was technology.
It was
Polymers are technology.
Look, yes, but look, Wanted is more sci-fi than this, and it had a loom of fate.
Wanted
with Angelina Jolie
and
yeah, Professor X. Yeah, that was more sci-fi, and it had
was pure fucking fantasy.
Bending bullets with the flick of a wrist. That's sci-fi. I mean, I understand why people would call it sci-fi back then.
It's sci-fi now. We don't have technology that can create indestructible materials that never get dirty.
Well, neither do they.
Well, they might now. He had that eureka moment at the end of the movie, but even before it started deteriorating, it held up to its promises.
Yeah.
It was indestructible. They had to use a blowtorch. Well, nearly indestructible. It was susceptible to very high heat. And they had to use a blowtorch to actually cut the material, but it didn't get dirty, and you couldn't cut it.
They've got a coating you can put on clothes for that.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
And it never wears off, so clothes never get dirty if you put that that.
Well, I can't tell you if it wears off or not, but
I mean, you can put a lot of chemicals on clothes to make them not. or make them repel dirt. Well, hydrophobic or repel dirt or oleophobic. But that doesn't make the clothes. I mean, that may actually hinder the ability of the clothes to do their job.
We never saw whether or not he could wash these clothes, said clothes. So
he didn't need to.
They would stink, I would think.
No, they don't. They don't. Things don't stick to them. He basically made Teflon clothes. Really hard Kevlar Teflon clothes.
Yeah, it was a Teflon Kevlar weave.
But I think it was a little stronger than that.
Okay,
because that one thread held his. Well, that one thread was able to actually, hold break steel.
Weight. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it popped the steel off. Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing the tensile check to see how strong it was, and it actually broke the machine they were checking it with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not my cup of sci-fi, and man, I don't know.
But the point of sci-fi movies like this, and we've discussed this before,
right?
The point of sci-fi movies like this is not the actual technology. The technology is a means to an end. The technology is what introduces the theme that they're trying to explore. And so the theme that they were trying to explore in this movie was the ramifications of new technology on both industry and labor, and what are the responsibilities of researchers whenever they introduce these revolutionary technologies to the public that is greatly affected by these new technologies. I mean, industry and labor were both right. I mean, this was a game changer for their jobs and their livelihoods and their income. Because if you've got this material that never wears out, that never gets dirty, it not only affects the workers at the mill that actually produce these goods and the industry titans that actually own these mills and market these out and sell it to tailors and whoever uses these textiles, but it also affects like his landlady. She also washed clothes for extra income, and if you have clothes that never get dirty, what's she going to do for that extra income? So I think it kind of, and it also kind of explored the dynamics between industry and labor, and how they're usually at odds with one another, but they actually kind of need each other in a capitalistic society. And so there were a lot of themes and a lot of things that they explored in this movie beyond, and it was the technology was just a launching pad for those explorations.
Right. I get that. Just not my cup of movie. No,
there weren't flashy effects, there weren't explosions, there weren't spaceships.
No, there was explosions.
Well, there were explosions. Yeah, that's right.
Which, I mean, at first,
did you at least like that part where things blew up?
Things blew up. It went boom. That and the song. I like the song.
Yeah, the song was kind of clever. Yeah.
Yeah, the little test tube song, which, come to find out, that was actually done using actual lab equipment. It wasn't done using musical instruments. So
yeah. They did have like an underlying musical bed, but yeah, the actual sound effects that they used for the main theme was laboratory equipment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I found it kind of interesting that they had like the godfather of textiles.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how it was back in, especially the 20s. I mean, like right as the revolutionary or the industrial revolution hit its peak around the 20s, you had these industrialists, these, what did they call them? Titans of industry that basically controlled their particular industry. I mean, they were the big dogs in their industry, and you definitely bowed down to them because they allowed you to to be a part of their industry. They allowed you to have like your mill, and if you fucked up or pissed them off, then they would manage to cut you out.
Yeah, blackball. And so what's the timeline on this show? How long from the time the thread was made to it deteriorating?
I don't think it was long. I think it was maybe a matter of days.
Okay. All right.
Although, well, no, because they created the thread and then they had to tailor the suit. So they had to.
Well, they created the thread. They
had to weave the fabric.
Tailor a suit. Get dimensions for the suit. Tailor the suit, which I mean, sewing the suit would take at least a day and two.
Well, it was probably closer to a week or two, maybe,
right,
to create that suit.
Right, and then a couple days after that. So what I'm seeing here is, sell that shit to the military.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think they were short-sighted, even with, and really, I think the fact that it deteriorates actually makes it much more marketable to the mills than if it didn't deteriorate, because even if it only lasts for like a couple of weeks, I mean, that's an indestructible, non-soilable material that you can have. I mean, it's got a shelf life, certainly, but within that shelf life, there are some probably applications that you could sell that material for. And you've got this continuing cycle of having to create that material for even though it's a niche application, probably, right? You could definitely market that material somehow. So I think they're a little short-sighted on the movie for wanting to subdue that, even after discovering that it's not permanent,
right? And so he makes it the first time. Does he like totally forget how he makes it? I mean, why did it keep exploding?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they were trying to go with on that too. I mean,
yeah,
he didn't get to actually analyze what he had created the first time. He thinks that it worked, but he didn't get to do any kind of analysis on it like he did the second time.
Yeah, but he would have known what he did.
True. And so
he would have had notes on that.
Maybe he didn't have detailed enough notes to be able to replicate the process or the rig that he used to create it the next time at the new lab. I'm not sure, but because I mean the new apparatus that he used was much more complex.
Yeah, it was
or
bigger.
Maybe he was trying to scale up production. Maybe he knew how to do it on a small scale and he was trying to scale it up. And maybe there were some problems scaling it up. Yeah.
Heavy hydrogen.
Yeah, heavy hydrogen.
Becomes unstable at higher quantities.
You think so?
I have no idea. I have no earthly idea. But I did like I liked the effect when they turned off the lights on him.
Yeah, the way his suit like glowed throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they did that.
I'm not either. I don't know if they had like some kind of like focused lens with light that just shined on his suit the entire time or what. But yeah, it was actually a really cool effect, and it made it stand out more in the fact that the film was black and white too. Right.
That's another thing. I'm immediately going to hate black and white films. I'm just going to give you a heads up.
Why?
Not a black and white guy.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Look, the world existed in black and white back then.
Look, it wasn't
until modern times that the world changed to color, so you just have to deal with black and white.
Look, I was never that old to know whether or not that was true, all right? So I'll have to take your word for it. I do know that we lived in low res for the longest time, and I'm just now. I never realized how crystal clear I could be until high def showed up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, high def has changed the world. Everything has come into focus.
Right. I mean, shoot.
Or that could be you visiting the eye doctor for the first time.
Maybe. I'm hairy.
Except for on your head.
I didn't know that until high def. No, that's not true. I've got hair on my head. I've got a nice head of hair going on right now. I need a haircut.
Yeah, sure you do.
I need a haircut. I need a shave. I haven't shaved my face in a while. I'm just hairy.
All right, so I was watching the movie and I was kind of confused on Daphne. Do you think she was actually falling for Sid? Because she was originally she's engaged to Michael Corland, right? The
Right. Yeah, the other dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other owner of the other mill. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know.
And then I thought maybe that they were trying to get, Bertha and Sydney together, but none of that stuff, because Bertha seemed to be crushing on Sydney.
He's only got eyes for science. Okay.
Apparently. Yeah.
Maybe she was just trying to stick it to dad. I'm sorry. Stick it to father.
I mean, you think? Because she seemed, after she tried to run him over and then, threw him off her car.
Which by the way, that sucked. I mean, they were going super slow and they just sped up the film to show speed.
I don't think she was actually driving though.
I think it was one of those. The backdrop was moving.
The backdrop was moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
which it didn't look good.
Well, I mean, okay, so it was the 1950s. It's a small studio. They had what they had to work with, so I'm gonna give them a pass on that. But yeah, so once she came back to see, if she had actually killed a guy with her car, she actually seemed to be somewhat attracted to him whenever he was explaining, what long chain polymers were. And
she just likes it when people talk science to her.
That's right. Yeah, and then she actually went home and started fiddling through the. Yeah. Do you think that was like product placement for Encyclopedia Britannica?
Yeah. You want to invent an indestructible fiber? Encyclopedia Britannica has all the answers for you.
That's right.
Yours today, with 5 easy installments of £29.
That's probably not too far off of what it would actually cost back then. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see if we can find out.
The things that you get off on a tangent on.
I'm kind of curious to see how close you are.
20. I just came up with a random number.
I mean, that was quite a bit of money back then, but encyclopedias were really expensive.
Yeah. So this had a box office of £90,000,
which was pretty good back then.
Yeah. For some strange reason, the British Film Institute named it the 58th greatest British film of all time. Now, what they're not telling you is that the British have only made
59 films.
No, 60 films. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
58 out of 100. Let's see. What did it beat out? Sense and Sensibility, Mona Lisa, Goldfinger, James Bond, Room with a View. Wow, so this thing, A Clockwork Orange, so people thought that this was better than some of those. All right.
It's a good movie. I mean, I understand you don't like it because this isn't like your cup of tea, your type of movie, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I watched the entire thing.
So in terms of like technical movie making, it was really good. Everything was, or the version that I watched, which was obviously a restored version, because the end credits, you could actually see some of the film scraping from the restoration kind of actually brought that back.
Was this from BFE or BFI?
Yeah. So actually,
you did the same thing I did. So
I did.
You got your 7-day trial?
I did, but you can actually get it off of the Internet Archive site.
Oh, I didn't look that hard.
Yeah.
Wasn't worth my time. So I just did it through there because I could play it on my TV and not have to sit at my computer to watch it or something. I am a sucker for being able to sit and watch anything. So did you find out?
I'm looking. Okay. So right now it's going for about $1,400 for a set.
Dollars or pounds? You need to convert that to pounds.
Well, I'm looking. I'll convert that to, I don't know what the exchange rate back in the 50s was, but it's probably still close to $1.50 to a pound, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm not finding that. And yeah.
Let's see here.
So it would have been about the 14th edition.
It was, the complete, so right now, the Encyclopedia Britannica on Amazon, complete 24 volume set from 1951 will go for $11,951 on Amazon.
Yeah, something tells me they didn't pay $11,000.
No,
back then.
No,
I mean that was a huge amount. They were balking at $4,000.
They were
4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the 14th edition. I don't see any costs associated with that edition, though. So, and I'm not going to look any longer because we have a show to record. So,
whatever. I mean, right now the show's only 36 minutes. You've got plenty of time.
Shut up.
We can wait. Or we can just cut this early. Doesn't matter to me. I'm good either way. It's your show. You do what you want.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate the permission to do things that I want on my show. That's really nice of you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Asshole.
So Alec Guinness.
Yeah, so Alec Guinness.
He
looks pretty much the same in this movie as he did in Star Wars, just without a beard and a little bit younger.
I was going to say, he's got a little bit more hair in this one.
Yeah. Did you recognize anybody else from this movie?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, neither did I.
No. And it took me a minute to figure out which one was Alec Guinness, just because.
Really?
Well, okay. It didn't take me that long, but I didn't realize it was Alec Guinness until after he was hiding behind the door as the trash guy. Like prior to that, I didn't, because he was kind of covering himself. It took me a minute to figure out who he was or which character he was playing.
Gotcha.
So, oh, wow. So he was a big stage guy prior to all of this.
Yeah. So he started out in stage, and then World War II hit.
Yeah, 1934.
Yeah. And then World War II hit. He was in the Navy during World War II for about 3 years. And then after World War II, he went back to stage, and then he started doing movies with Ealing Studios, and he did several movies with Ealing Studios, and they concentrated mostly on small budget comedy movies. Mm-hmm. And then it was after, movies like this and some others, because he got some Academy Award nominations for some of the work that he did around this time.
Yeah, Bridge Over the River Kwai.
Yeah.
Wow. He was busy.
Yeah. He was a prolific actor in his time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big get for him, or for Lucas, to get him to sign on for Star Wars. In fact, it took doubling the amount that they offered him to get him to sign on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he got a percentage of royalties.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. All right. Other thoughts?
If you are a film aficionado and you're just looking for something to do for 85 minutes, watch it. I mean, it's not terrible. Honestly, I enjoyed this more than Metropolis, but that's not saying much because, I didn't like Metropolis. This wasn't terrible. It's not my. I understand why it would be classified as sci-fi, but it's not my type of sci-fi. And it's, if James was here, this one actually would probably be less sci-fi than 11/22/63 in his opinion.
Okay.
But it's just, I mean, it's not bad. We've certainly reviewed worse. Just not my cup of tea.
I mean, I'll agree. It's not hard sci-fi,
No.
or quote unquote hard sci-fi. This is going back to the classic sci-fi. When sci-fi was first emerging as a genre that takes scientific things that don't actually exist. So science fiction as this launching point for a theme, for exploring some sort of theme or some sort of cultural idea or some sort of dilemma, some sort of it's a way to launch a story.
Right. And I get it.
Do you though?
Not really.
Okay. That makes sense.
But sure.
All right.
What
You got a haiku for us this week.
I do. This one is titled New Tech. Portable flashlight, radioactive fiber. He is now sterile.
Yeah, you got to wonder the implications of him wearing a radioactive suit.
Right. Yeah, especially one that glows in the dark.
Right. And I wonder, I mean, so we knew about radiation sickness in the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But was that really common knowledge?
I don't know. I mean, I would think they would know because of, dropping the A-bomb.
Sure. And by the 1951, I mean, there'd been more advances in atomic weapons.
Right. And they were protecting themselves in the 50s from X-ray and that kind of stuff.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something they just kind of glossed over. The suit's mildly radioactive, but
I mean, yeah, and they were having a hard time finding them. Shit, with how much that was glowing, just get a Geiger counter out.
Right.
Pinpoint him like nobody's business.
All right, you got any awards?
Yeah, I do.
All right, who's got your Black Lung?
I gave it to Mr. Burnley for his late night smoke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's going to go to Sid for walking into the lab with a big lit cigar and then almost choking on it.
And choking on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Who's got your head lush?
I gave it to Mr. Harrison for drinking the test tube hooch twice.
Yeah. That's who's getting mine too. Yeah, he was leaning over, and you knew that had to be some kind of booze or whatever that he was drinking. Yeah. It was pretty dark.
Yeah, the only thing better than bathtub hooch is test tube hooch.
Test tube hooch, yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. Player.
Oh, I gave the player to Daphne for basically whoring herself out for 5,000 pounds.
Yep. That's who's getting mine.
Yep.
Pretty much the same reason. Yeah, she wasn't going to take 2,000. It was going to take 5,000 for her to whore herself out.
Yep.
To Sid.
Yeah.
You think she got the 5,000?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. She should have. She did a phenomenal job. You know, they thought she was downright busy in there with the door locked.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Purple Hippo.
You know, I can't remember the dude's name because I really didn't have anything down, but I just realized this one. I'm going to give it to the dude that worked in Burnley's lab that was in charge that got put in the basically the broom closet as his office.
All right.
And the fact that he was basically living shell shocked.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah. Did you notice the sandbags he put up against his wall?
He had sandbags and yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And then they had the sandbags down the hall with a dude. No, sir, you can't go in there.
Yeah, so mine's gonna go to Sid for, basically having a mob chase him through the streets of town and then getting cornered and wondering if he was gonna get ripped apart.
I mean, damn.
What were they gonna do to him? Were they actually gonna murder him?
Maybe. Silence him.
Yeah, silence him how, though?
Put him in a closet.
Forever?
Sure.
So it's either kidnapping or murder. One or the other.
Yeah, lock him in a cell in the bottom of the mill.
Okay. So false imprisonment or murder. One or the other.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's how they did it back in the 50s.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
I did not know that.
Well, I mean, you should. You lived during that time.
Ha 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 ha. You're so fucking funny.
Are we choosing a new
We are choosing another show.
Are we?
We are. Unless
you
you want to choose one of your own.
No. I like the unknown of the randomness. I don't like the results of the randomness sometimes, but I like the unknown.
All right. Well, you need to choose a number between 1 and 153.
Let's see. What's the periodic table?
Periodic element for hydrogen is 1.
No, I don't care about hydrogen. I want something more radioactive than that.
Oh,
We're gonna go periodic for how do you spell cesium? That's a C, isn't it?
CESIUM.
IUM, yeah. So that is 55. So let's do cesium. I don't even know what cesium is. It's some sort of chemical.
No, it's an element.
Chemical element.
It's an element.
It says, look, Wikipedia, holder of all knowledge, says cesium is a chemical element with the symbol CS and the atomic number of 55. It is a soft, silvery golden alkali metal used with a melting point of 28.5 degrees Celsius, which makes it one of the only 5 elemental metals that are liquid at or near room temperature. Stop.
55, huh?
Yeah, and I already said stop.
Yeah, I heard you.
Did you?
I did.
And that was your science knowledge for the day.
All right, 55. This is a series, so...
Nope, can't do that. All right, let's go up 1. So 56.
Up 1. Oh, you mean add 1?
Add 1, yeah.
Add 1,
Yeah.
okay.
Add 1, so 56. Whatever 56 is right there. He doesn't know.
Oh, I know.
Oh, he knows. He's looking it up, which means it is not a series.
It's not a series.
It is.
All right. So next episode, we will be discussing the movie where a scientist becomes obsessed with bringing back his family members who died in a traffic accident.
Oh, shit.
You know what this is?
Died in a traffic accident. There's a lot of them where they want to...
Stars Keanu Reeves, Alice Eve, and Thomas Middleditch.
Oh, wait. Traffic accident. Ooh, that's a relatively recent
Yes,
one.
it is.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
You can do it.
Oh, and I know the...
It is 2018's Replicas.
Replicas. Okay, yeah.
So I haven't seen this one.
Neither have I. I have it, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I've actually wanted to see it for a little bit. It doesn't look like it's done really well in the ratings, but we'll see, I guess, in a couple weeks.
Look, it's Keanu Reeves. It's fine. We're going to watch it. Replicas?
Replicas.
Or replicant?
No, replicas.
Replicas. I don't have replicas.
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 As in a replica, but the plural.
Like
more than one.
Like more than one replica.
Yes.
Like
that's all we've got
multiples.
time for this week. Our intro and outro music is Welcome Home by Cambo. Podcrog music is Snack Mix by Machette. If you like the show, please rate and review us on iTunes. You can leave us feedback on our Discord channel at smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Discord, on Twitter at @saddest_podcast, or you can email us at smokinganddrinkinginspace@outlook.com. If you'd like to throw a few nickels our way, you can become a Patreon supporter by going to smokinganddrinkinginspace.com/Patreon. And also visit Gonna Geek for more great shows at gonnageek.com. For this episode, I'm Jason.
Yeah, so this is just like another mind trip that we're going to end up watching.
You think?
Oh, he's a neuroscientist.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you next episode. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Smoking and Drinking in Space. This is a sci-fi podcast from a couple guys who think they know My tongue's getting in the way.
We know sci-fi.
All right. One more time.
Hey, as long as you don't take 3 tries like I did.
Yeah, no shit.
On Wednesday.